Alien ships appeared on Earth's sensors. Massive and unknown, they moved toward the solar system like silent hunters. At Mission Control in Houston, alarms blared through the night shift. "Sir, you need to see this," said the young radar specialist, pointing at his screen. General Gregory Porter leaned forward, his weathered face illuminated by the display. "How many?" "Over 200 vessels, sir. Nothing like we've ever seen before." Porter reached for the red phone. Within hours, world leaders convened in an emergency session. Captain Jack Hudson was enjoying rare shore leave when his comm unit buzzed. "Hudson here," he answered, setting down his coffee. "Captain, report to Lunar Base immediately. Priority Alpha." 6 hours later, Hudson stood aboard the EDF Sentinel, Earth's most advanced warship. "Take us out, Lieutenant Kim. Maximum burn toward the outer system." "Aye, Captain." The ship's engines flared to life, pushing them away from Earth's orbit. Meanwhile on Mars, Dr. Olivia Martinez wiped dust from her forehead as she examined strange markings in the ancient cave. For 3 years, her team had been excavating what they believed was simply an unusual rock formation. Today, everything changed. "Ryan, look at this," she called to her assistant. When she placed her hand near a section of wall, it began to glow with symbols. "It's responding to your presence," Ryan whispered, recording everything. As Martinez moved closer, the entire wall shifted, revealing a chamber beyond. Inside stood a pillar of unknown metal, pulsing with soft blue light. "This is no natural formation," Martinez said. "This was built." Back on Earth, representatives from every nation gathered at the United Nations. The usual political divisions disappeared in the face of a potential threat from beyond. "We must unite," declared Secretary General Alvarez. "Whatever comes next, humanity faces it together." The Global Defense Initiative was formed within days, combining military forces and scientific resources worldwide. In orbit around Neptune, Captain Hudson's ship maintained position. They had been tracking the alien fleet for days now. "They've stopped, Captain," reported Officer Winters, holding position just beyond Neptune's orbit. Hudson studied the tactical display. "They know we're watching. They're making the statement." A communications specialist rushed onto the bridge. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission. It's directed at us specifically." "On screen," Hudson ordered. The view screen flickered, revealing a being unlike anything humans had ever seen. Its body appeared crystalline, with multiple limbs and 3 glowing eye-like organs. "People of Earth," the translation came through. "We are the Vorax Collective. Your existence has been noted by the galactic community." Hudson kept his expression neutral. "This is Captain Jack Hudson of Earth Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact." The alien made a gesture that might have been amusement. "Peace is available to those who accept their place. Your species has been observed. You are dangerous, unpredictable. The Council has determined you cannot be allowed to spread beyond your system." "We have no hostile intentions," Hudson replied. "We seek only to protect our world." All developing species claim peaceful intent. Yet history shows otherwise. We have seen your broadcasts, your wars, your rapid technological advancement. You are chaos embodied. The alien paused, its crystalline form shifting colors. "The Vorax Collective offers you one opportunity. Submit to quarantine. Accept limitations on your technology and expansion, or be eliminated as a threat to galactic stability." Hudson's jaw tightened. "And if we refuse these terms, then you will witness the might of a civilization thousands of years beyond yours. You have 7 Earth days to communicate your surrender. There will be no further negotiation." The transmission ended. Dr. Martinez's team had activated the beacon on Mars. Ancient warnings flowed across screens, warnings about humans, written by other species long ago. Warnings calling humans unpredictable, adaptable, dangerous. "They've been watching us for millennia," Martinez realized. "And they've been afraid of us all this time." As Hudson's ship raced back to Earth, He knew humanity faced its greatest challenge. The stars had finally answered the age-old question, are we alone? No, but perhaps we should have been. 7 days passed too quickly. Earth's leaders debated, scientists worked around the clock, and military forces prepared for the unthinkable. When the deadline arrived, humanity gave its answer. We cannot accept terms that prevent our growth, the Secretary General broadcast to the waiting Vorax fleet. Earth seeks peaceful coexistence, but we will defend ourselves if attacked. The response came swiftly. Dozens of Vorax ships broke formation, moving toward Earth. Commander Sam Phillips stood on the bridge of the EDF Valiant, watching the enemy approach. 30 Earth ships formed a defensive line near Mars, all vessels in position. His tactical officer reported. Phillips took a deep breath. Remember your training. We make our stand here. The Vorax struck first. Energy weapons tore through space, brighter than stars. 2 Earth ships exploded instantly. Return fire, Phillips ordered. Pattern Delta. Earth's ships scattered in a move the aliens hadn't anticipated. The defense fleet fired from multiple angles, catching several Vorax vessels with their shields improperly aligned. Back on Earth, Dr. Martins worked frantically in her lab. The Mars beacon contained not just warnings but information about Vorax technology. Their ships use a resonance field, she explained to military officials over video link. If we can match the frequency and reverse it. How long? Asked General Porter. Hours, maybe days, Martins replied. But there's something else. The beacon suggests the Vorax aren't working alone. They've conquered hundreds of worlds, forcing other species to serve them. In orbit around Jupiter, communications specialist Zoe Wright detected unusual patterns in the enemy transmissions. Some of these signals don't match Vorax communication protocols, she told her superior. It's like different species are operating different ships. This information reached Commander Phillips as his fleet engaged in desperate combat. Target the ships with non-Vorax signatures first, he ordered. They may have weaker resolve. The strategy worked. 3 enemy vessels broke formation after sustained damage, retreating rather than continuing the fight. Lieutenant Alan Foster led a squadron of fighters protecting the Europa research colony. When Vorax destroyers approached, he made a decision that would become legend. Get the civilians to the bunkers, he radioed the colony. I'll buy you time. Foster's fighter plunged straight toward the Lid Vorax ship. He launched all missiles before impact, creating a chain reaction that destroyed 2 enemy vessels and damaged 3 more. The Vorax hadn't expected such sacrifice. Their assault faltered. On Earth, Dr. Martinez made a breakthrough. The Mars beacon contains a map of Vorax territory, she announced. They've expanded across a third of the galaxy, but they avoid certain regions completely. Why? Asked Porter. The beacon doesn't say, but it suggests the Vorax fear something else out there, something worse than us. Commander Phillips used the battle's chaos to launch a daring mission. A stealth team led by Captain Hudson penetrated a damaged Vorax ship, downloading critical data before escaping. The information they recovered shocked Earth's leaders. The Vorax call us unpredictables, Hudson reported after returning. Their entire society is built on order and predictability. They conquered other races by understanding and exploiting their behavioral patterns. But they can't predict us, Martins realized. Exactly, Hudson nodded. Their tactical computers keep failing against our strategies because we don't follow the patterns they expect from developing species. The first battle lasted 36 hours. Earth lost 17 ships and thousands of lives, but the Vorax lost more. For the first time in their history, they retreated without victory. As the alien fleet withdrew to regroup beyond Saturn, Earth prepared for the next phase. Scientists studied captured technology. Military leaders planned new defenses. And in labs across the planet, researchers began exploring why humans were different from other species the Vorax had encountered. The enemy would return. Everyone knew that. But humanity had proven something important, not just to the Vorax, but to themselves. They could fight back. Dr. Martinez had not slept for 3 days. The data from the Mars beacon and the captured Vorax ship filled her lab screens. Her eyes burned from staring at alien symbols, but she couldn't stop. Not when she was this close. "I found it," she whispered, then louder. "I found it." Her assistant Ryan rushed over. "Found what?" "Why they fear us." Martins pointed to brain scan comparisons. "Look at these neural patterns. Human brains fire in ways completely different from the other species in the Vorax database." The discovery spread quickly through Earth's command structure. Humans possessed neural pathways that created unpredictable thought patterns. Where other species followed logical progressions, human minds jumped between ideas, created connections where none existed before, and imagined possibilities beyond their experience. Engineer Ben Collins worked in the weapons division when Martinez's findings reached him. That night, he barely slept, and when morning came, he burst into his supervisor's office. "We can amplify it," he said without introduction. "Our neural advantage. We can build tech that enhances what makes us different." 3 weeks later, the first neural-enhanced fighter ships were ready for testing. The pilots reported extraordinary results. The ships seemed to anticipate their thoughts, responding faster than any human reflexes could normally allow. Collins explained to military leaders, "The system doesn't read minds. It creates a field that extends the pilot's neural patterns, allowing instant response without physical controls." The new technology arrived just in time. Long-range sensors detected the Vorax returning, with a fleet 3 times larger than before. "They've called in reinforcements from across their empire," Commander Phillips told his officers. "And they're not all Vorax ships." The enemy approached with overwhelming force. But this time, Earth was ready. The neural-enhanced Earth vessels moved in patterns impossible to predict. They seemed to appear where Vorax ships were most vulnerable, striking and vanishing before the enemy could respond. A Vorax command ship exploded after a precision strike led by Phillips himself. As debris scattered across space, something unexpected happened. A small transport broke away from the Vorax fleet, broadcasting on Earth frequencies. "This is Telnar of the Keltari. We seek asylum. We are slaves of the Vorax, forced to fight. There are many like us." Intelligence officer Diana Reyes met the Keltari representatives at a secure lunar facility. The aliens, slender with pale blue skin and large eyes, trembled with fear and hope. "The Vorax conquered our world 2 centuries ago," Telnar explained. "They do this across the galaxy, but never have they faced resistance like yours." Reyes leaned forward. "How many enslaved species serve in their fleet?" 17 in this battle group alone," Telnar replied. "Many would fight alongside you if given the chance." Within days, Reyes established a covert communication network. The Keltari helped identify ships crewed by enslaved species and transmitted coded messages offering alliance. During the next major battle, 5 enemy vessels suddenly turned their weapons on Vorax ships. The resulting confusion allowed Earth forces to drive the enemy back beyond Neptune's orbit. Dr. Martinez continued studying the beacon data, making another crucial discovery. The Vorax communicate with their conquered worlds through quantum relays. If we could access that network, Collins modified the neural enhancement technology. A human operator could potentially navigate the quantum pathways in ways the Vorax wouldn't expect. When they tested the system, the results exceeded all expectations. The human neural pattern allowed access to the entire Vorax communication network. For the first time, Earth could see the true scale of the Vorax collective. Thousands of worlds, hundreds of enslaved species, and a rigid hierarchy built on predictability and control. But they also saw something else. Whispers of resistance throughout the Empire. Stories of the humans who fought back were spreading. Earth was no longer just defending itself. It had become a symbol of hope for oppressed species across the galaxy. As the Vorax retreated from the solar system, humanity prepared not just for defense, but for something more ambitious. Earth would take the fight to the stars. The ship gleamed like a silver arrow against the darkness of space. Engineers and scientists stood behind safety glass, watching as the vessel powered up for the first time. "The Defiance is ready," announced Ben Collins, pride evident in his voice. "First human ship with true faster-than-light capability." General Porter nodded, and not a moment too soon. Earth had enjoyed 6 months of relative peace. The Voraks maintained a blockade at the edge of the solar system, but had not attacked again. Everyone knew this wasn't victory, merely preparation for something bigger. Captain Jack Hudson was selected to command the Defiance on its maiden voyage. His mission: seek out potential allies beyond the solar system. "We've identified 7 star systems with species resistant to Voraks control," Diana Reyes explained during the mission briefing. "The closest is Proxima Centauri. Our Kelturi friends say there's a neutral trading post there." The Defiance departed Earth to cheers and prayers. When the FTL drive engaged, the stars stretched into lines, then vanished entirely. 4 hours later, they arrived at their destination. The trading post orbited Proxima Centauri, a rocky world with a thin atmosphere. As the Defiance approached, dozens of alien ships scattered in panic. "They're afraid of us," Hudson realized. A transmission came through in several languages. Eventually, English. "Unknown vessel. This is Station Master Grell. Identify yourself immediately." "This is Captain Hudson of the Earth ship Defiance. We come seeking dialogue." A long pause followed. "Earth, the Death World. You have broken quarantine. The Council must be informed." Hudson and his diplomatic team shuttled to the station. They were met by Station Master Grell, a 6-limbed being with gray-green skin and compound eyes. "You should not be here," Grell said. "Deathworlders are prohibited from interstellar travel without Council approval." "Deathworlders?" Hudson asked. Grell's eyes shifted colors. "Species evolved on harsh planets. Your Earth, high gravity, extreme weather, dangerous fauna, deadly microbes. You developed in conditions that made you unsuitable for galactic society." Inside the station, Hudson's team encountered a bustling marketplace of alien species. Many fled at the sight of humans. Others watched with obvious curiosity. "The Galactic Council governs interstellar affairs," Grell explained as they walked. 47 species maintain the Non-Aggression Pact, prohibiting warfare between members. "Then why does the Council permit the Voraks to conquer other worlds?" Hudson asked. Grell's color darkened. "The Voraks claim they bring order, not conquest. Many Council members believe them." A commotion erupted across the marketplace. A group of tall, crimson-skinned aliens surrounded Hudson's team. "Council enforcers," Grell whispered. "They will take you to Galactic Central." The journey to the Council homeworld took 2 days, even with advanced FTL technology. Hudson and his team were kept isolated until their arrival. Galactic Central was a massive station orbiting a binary star system. Inside, representatives from dozens of species debated in a vast chamber. "The humans have violated quarantine," announced the Voraks representative, a crystalline being larger than those Hudson had seen before. "They must be contained before they spread chaos." Hudson stepped forward. "We came seeking allies against Voraks aggression. They attacked our world unprovoked." The chamber erupted in shocked murmurs. "The Voraks bring order to unstable regions," countered their representative. "Humans are genetically predisposed to violence and unpredictability. Our scientists recommend complete isolation." Back on Earth, Dr. Martinez prepared evidence gathered from the Mars beacon and captured Voraks data. When her presentation reached Hudson, he displayed it before the Council. "The Voraks have systematically conquered hundreds of worlds," Hudson declared. "They enslave species and force them to fight their wars." The Council chamber descended into chaos. Many representatives demanded verification. Others called for immediate action against the Voraks. An elder Council member finally restored order. "This matter requires investigation. Until then, humans will be granted provisional status. You may observe council proceedings but may not travel beyond approved systems. It wasn't the alliance Hudson had hoped for, but it was a beginning. As the council session ended, representatives from 7 species approached him privately. "We have suffered under Vorax influence," one whispered. "If what you say is true, we wish to speak further, away from council monitoring." Hudson smiled. Earth had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage. They weren't alone anymore. The meeting occurred in shadows, away from council monitors. Representatives from 7 species gathered with Hudson's team in an abandoned maintenance section of Galactic Central. "We have endured Vorax oppression for generations," said Krell, a reptilian being from the Sartorian worlds. "They claim to bring order, but deliver only servitude." A delicate, insect-like creature named Vish added, "My people, the Arachni, lost 3 colony worlds. The Vorax claimed they were stabilizing unstable elements." One by one, each representative shared similar stories. Hudson listened carefully, then spoke. "Earth offers alliance, not dominance. Partnership, freedom for all." The words were simple, but their impact profound. These species had known only Vorax control or council indifference. The concept of fighting alongside equals felt revolutionary. "We agree," Krell said finally. "But this must remain secret from the council. Many members benefit from Vorax trade." The alliance formed that day would change galactic history. Back on Earth, Ben Collins worked with alien engineers to combine technologies. Human neural interfaces merged with Arachne miniaturization and Sartorian power systems. The results stunned even the designers. "These weapons shouldn't be possible," said Vish, examining the prototype. "The energy patterns are chaotic yet stable, like your minds." The Vorax struck 3 weeks later. They attacked the Tellurian homeworld, claiming the species had violated trade agreements. In reality, the Tellurians had been communicating with Earth. Captain Hudson led a squadron of enhanced Earth vessels to aid the Tellurians. The Defiance arrived first, emerging from FTL directly in the battle zone. "Vorax fleet detected," reported Lieutenant Kim. 47 ships bombarding the planet. Hudson's voice remained calm. "Deploy our new weapons. Target their command vessels." The battle that followed shocked both sides. Earth ships moved in patterns the Vorax computers couldn't predict. The new weapons, dubbed Chaos Drives by their creators, generated energy fields that disrupted Vorax shields. 3 Vorax cruisers exploded before they could respond. 4 more suffered critical systems failures. The remaining ships retreated in disarray. For the first time in recorded history, a Vorax attack force had been decisively defeated. News spread quickly through the galactic communication network. The Council convened an emergency session, demanding explanations from both humans and Vorax. "These humans have violated every protocol," the Vorax representative insisted. "They interfered in a standard compliance action." Diana Reyes, now Earth's ambassador, responded calmly. "We prevented genocide. The Tellurians faced planetary bombardment for simply communicating with us." The council chamber divided. Traditional allies supported the Vorax. Others, impressed by Earth's victory, questioned long-held assumptions. "Perhaps," suggested an elder council member, "we should reconsider our assessment of Deathworlders." The Vorax representative's crystalline form flashed angry colors. "They will destroy everything if allowed to spread. Their minds are chaos embodied." While the council debated, action moved elsewhere. Inspired by Earth's victory, 3 more species broke from Vorax control. Small rebellions became planetary uprisings. The Vorax responded with brutal force, but each suppression required resources they couldn't spare. Chief Engineer Collins traveled to allied worlds, helping implement human technologies. During one such mission, his team came under attack. Vorax Special Forces warned his Sartorian guide as explosions rocked their facility. Collins led his team to safety through maintenance tunnels. When cornered, he improvised a weapon from power cells and cooling units, The resulting explosion collapsed the tunnel behind them, while leaving their path forward intact. "How did you know that would work?" asked an amazed Sartorian. Collins shrugged. "I didn't, but it seemed worth trying." This human tendency to improvise, to try solutions without certainty of success, fascinated their allies. Other species spent generations perfecting technologies before implementation. Humans deployed prototypes, failed, adjusted, and tried again. The Galactic Council fractured over what some called the human question. Half supported containing Earth's influence. The other half saw humanity as a needed counterbalance to Vorax dominance. Meanwhile, the alliance grew stronger. 7 species became 12, then 20. Earth ships protected their worlds while human innovations strengthened their defenses. For the first time in millennia, the Vorax faced an enemy they couldn't predict or control. Their response would be devastating. Dr. Martinez stood before the Allied Species Council, her face solemn. Behind her, a display showed brain scans from 20 different intelligent species. "Our advantage isn't technology," she explained. "It's this." She pointed to the human brain scan, which pulsed with more chaotic patterns than any other. "Human neural pathways form connections other species don't," she continued. "Where you see problems, we see possibilities. Where you follow established patterns, we create new ones." An Arachne representative clicked its mandibles. "This is why the Vorax fear you. You are unpredictable." "Yes," Martinez nodded, "and that's why we're winning." The alliance had grown to include 34 species. Earth ships protected former Vorax territories, while human strategies guided military operations. For the first time in centuries, the Vorax collective was losing ground. Their response came without warning. Commander Sam Phillips was coordinating defense of a recently liberated world when the sensors detected something massive entering the system. "Unknown vessel," reported his tactical officer. "Size exceeds anything in our database." The object emerged from FTL near the system's outer planet. It resembled a small moon rather than a ship. Before Phillips could order evasive action, it fired. A beam of energy struck the planet below. Oceans boiled. Continents cracked. Within minutes, a world that had hosted billions of lives became a molten ruin. "They've built planet killers," Phillips whispered. Similar attacks occurred across 3 other systems. The Vorax message was clear: surrender or face extinction. Earth's response came from an unexpected source. Ben Collins had been working with alien scientists on a project they called Impossible. Now, as alliance leaders debated evacuation plans, he interrupted their meeting. "We've done it," he announced. "We've found a countermeasure." The technology Collins presented seemed impossible. It created a field that could redirect the energy of a planet killer weapon, using the attack's own power against it. "We need 2 days to manufacture enough units," Collins explained. "Then we can protect our core worlds." Diana Reyes coordinated the largest covered operation in galactic history. While the Alliance publicly debated surrender terms, her agents infiltrated 20 Vorax-controlled worlds. They carried messages and technologies to resistance cells, preparing for simultaneous rebellion. Commander Phillips led a strike force deep into Vorax territory. Their mission: buy time for Collins' countermeasures to be deployed. "We don't need to win," Phillips told his crews. "We just need to keep their attention focused on us." The battle was brutal. Phillips lost a third of his ships, but the Vorax committed most of their conventional fleet to the engagement. The planet killers remained in reserve, exactly as Earth had hoped. When the rebellions erupted across Vorax space, the crystalline beings found themselves fighting on multiple fronts. Species they had controlled for centuries rose up, using human-designed weapons and tactics. The Vorax Supreme Council gathered their remaining forces for a final assault. They would destroy Earth itself, eliminating the source of this chaos. Their fleet, including 3 planet killers, assembled near the former Kelturi homeworld. As they prepared to jump to the Sol system, Earth made its move. A transmission broadcast across all frequencies reaching every corner of the galaxy. Captain Jack Hudson's face appeared on screens throughout Vorax ships and on every Council world. Attention all species of the galaxy. This is humanity's final warning. Images played showing Vorax atrocities, followed by footage of the liberated worlds now thriving under Alliance protection. We did not start this conflict. We did not seek to spread beyond our world. But we will not allow the continued enslavement of sentient beings. The transmission showed Collins' countermeasures being installed on planets throughout the galaxy. The Vorax believe they can destroy worlds to maintain control. We have rendered their ultimate weapons useless. Now we offer one chance for peace. Hudson's expression hardened. End your conquests. Free your enslaved worlds. Join the galactic community as equals, or face humanity unleashed. Until now, we have restrained ourselves. We have fought defensively. That ends today. The transmission concluded with demonstrations of new human technologies, weapons and defenses beyond anything the Vorax had encountered. You fear our unpredictability. You should, because the force you've awakened is more creative, more adaptive, and more determined than anything your ordered minds can comprehend. This is humanity's promise to the galaxy. Those who seek peace will find friendship. Those who bring war will find their ultimate match. The New Order. The Grand Vorax fleet hung in space like a constellation of malice. 3 planet killers formed its center, surrounded by hundreds of warships. For millennia, such a force had meant certain doom for any who opposed the collective. Today, they faced something different. The Allied fleet appeared from multiple FTL points, executing a maneuver Vorax tacticians had declared impossible. Captain Jack Hudson commanded from the bridge of the Defiance, which had been upgraded with technologies no single species could have created. All ships in position, reported Lieutenant Kim. Hudson nodded. Begin Operation Freedom. The battle erupted across an entire star system. Unlike traditional space combat, with predictable formations, the human-led forces moved in patterns that seemed random yet devastatingly effective. They can't track our movements, Hudson observed as Vorax targeting systems failed repeatedly. Implement Phase 2. The Allied ships suddenly changed tactics, seemingly abandoning effective strategies for new ones before the Vorax could adapt. This constant shifting left the enemy unable to establish countermeasures. On the Vorax command ship, the Supreme Leader's crystalline form pulsed with agitation. How do they coordinate such chaos? It demanded. No species can fight this way. A subordinate responded. Their neural patterns allow information processing we cannot replicate. They're improvising. The Supreme Leader had never encountered this concept before. In Vorax culture, every action followed established protocols refined over generations. The idea of creating tactics during battle violated their fundamental understanding of warfare. The first planet killer moved into firing position. Its massive energy collectors began to glow, preparing to demonstrate why the Vorax had ruled unchallenged for so long. At that moment, Earth revealed its ultimate achievement. 20 ships broke from the Allied formation. Unlike any vessels seen before, they pulsed with energy that matched human neural patterns. Inside each, a volunteer human pilot had connected directly to the ship's systems through Collins' most advanced interface. These ships, called thoughtcraft by their creators, moved with impossible speed and precision. They weren't just controlled by humans. They were extensions of human consciousness. Consciousness vessels detected, reported a Vorax sensor operator, unable to predict movement patterns. The planet killer fired its world-destroying beam. The thoughtcraft intercepted, its hull glowing as it absorbed the immense energy. Instead of disintegrating, the ship redirected the power back at the planet killer. The massive Vorax weapon exploded in a burst that momentarily outshone the system's sun. Similar scenes played out across the battlefield. Vorax advantages in size and power meant nothing against enemies who could outthink their tactical computers and counter their strongest weapons. 3 hours later, the Supreme Leader's ship transmitted surrender codes. The war that had begun with an ultimatum to Earth ended with humanity dictating terms to the galaxy's former masters. In the aftermath, representatives from over 100 species gathered on neutral ground, a newly constructed space station called Unity. Hudson and Dr. Martinez stood together, watching representatives arrive for the signing of the new galactic charter. "Did you ever imagine this when you found that beacon on Mars?" Hudson asked. Martinez smiled. "Never. I was just trying to understand what made us targets. I never expected we'd reshape the galaxy." The new charter established principles unheard of in previous galactic governance. All sentient species would have equal representation. Conquest was forbidden. Former Vorax territories would be granted independence with protection guarantees from the Alliance. Most revolutionary was the Charter's approach to emerging species. Rather than containment or control, the document established protocols for welcoming new civilizations into the galactic community. "We bring a unique perspective," Earth's representative explained during the signing ceremony. "We remember what it means to be alone in the universe, to fear the unknown. No species should face that isolation again." The Vorax, stripped of their empire but allowed to retain their homeworld, watched in confusion. Their ordered minds struggled to comprehend how chaos had created stability, how unpredictability had established peace. As the ceremony concluded, Hudson stood on an observation deck, watching ships from dozens of worlds moving peacefully through space. A Kelturi diplomat joined him. "My ancestors would never believe this," the Kelturi said. "For 20 generations, we knew only Vorax domination. Now we shape our own destiny." Epilogue. 10 years later. 10 years passed since the signing of the Galactic Charter. The Unity Station had grown from a single diplomatic outpost to a sprawling hub where hundreds of species lived and worked together. Jack Hudson, now Admiral of the Allied Fleet, walked through Unity's central garden. Trees from Earth grew alongside plants from 20 other worlds, creating a living symbol of cooperation. "Admiral Hudson," called a young voice. Hudson turned to see Lyra, the daughter of a Kelturi diplomat. At 15, she represented the first generation to grow up in this new galactic society. "I got accepted to the academy," she said proudly, her blue skin flushing purple with excitement. Hudson smiled. "Congratulations, the first Kelturi cadet, if I'm not mistaken." "Yes, sir. I want to serve on a thought craft someday." The Human-Alien Academy had become the most prestigious institution in the galaxy. Species that once feared each other now sent their brightest youth to learn together. Elsewhere on Unity Station, Dr. Olivia Martinez met with her research team. Scientists from 12 different worlds working to understand the diversity of sentient minds. "The neural mapping is complete," reported her Arachne assistant. "We've confirmed 23 distinct patterns of sentient thought across known species." Martinez nodded, studying the display. "And humans remain the most variable." "Indeed. Your neural plasticity exceeds all others by significant margins." This research had practical applications beyond scientific curiosity. Understanding how different minds processed information had revolutionized everything from medicine to education to diplomacy. In the council chamber, Diana Rice, now Earth's senior representative, addressed delegates from 217 worlds. "The integration program for newly discovered species has been successfully implemented on 11 worlds," she announced. "Rather than fear or isolation, these emerging civilizations are receiving guidance and protection as they join our community." A Vorax representative listened from a side bench. The crystalline beings had changed over the decade. Exposure to human unpredictability had slowly altered their rigid thought patterns. Some younger Vorax even displayed creativity, a concept previously alien to their species. Ben Collins supervised the construction of a new type of vessel near Jupiter. Now 62, his hair had turned gray, but his mind remained sharp. The Explorer class combines technologies from 37 species, he explained to visiting dignitaries. It can travel farther and faster than anything we've built before. The ship before them would soon attempt the first journey beyond the galaxy, seeking contact with other civilizations in nearby star clusters. Not everything was peaceful. On the edges of known space, pirate groups formed from remnants of the old Vorax Empire. Rogue elements from various species occasionally threatened border worlds. Commander Sam Phillips, leading a patrol near contested space, received a distress call from an outpost. Unidentified ships attacking the colony on Vega Prime, reported his communications officer. Phillips ordered immediate response. Within hours, his fleet had driven off the attackers and captured their leader, a former Vorax commander who refused to accept the new order. "You cannot maintain this chaos you call peace," the prisoner insisted. "The galaxy requires structure, hierarchy." Phillips studied the crystalline being. "What you call chaos, we call freedom. Each world choosing its own path while respecting the rights of others. It cannot last," the Vorax insisted. "Perhaps not forever," Phillips acknowledged, "but we'll defend it as long as we exist." Back on Earth, children played in a park where a monument stood to those lost in the Vorax War. Among them, a young boy named Leo looked up at the stars. "My mom helps build the big ships," he told his friends proudly. "She says someday I can visit other worlds too." His friend Mira nodded. "My dad works with aliens at the medical center. He saved a Sartorian last week." For these children, a galaxy filled with diverse species was normal. The isolation Earth had known for millennia was now unimaginable. As night fell across North America, families pointed telescopes skyward. The Unity station passed overhead, visible as a bright point of light. Humanity had transformed from a species alone in the cosmos to the architects of a new galactic civilization. Their unique minds, chaotic, creative, and endlessly adaptive, had become not a liability, but the greatest gift they could offer to the stars. The ultimate force in the galaxy had turned out to be not weapons or technology, but understanding, cooperation, and the courage to imagine a different future.